Welcome to the Football Expert, the voice for college football and your home for NFL draft analysis, game breakdowns, bold predictions, scouting reports, and so much more. This is the ultimate destination for any college football fan looking for community here on YouTube. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that way you never miss another video. And join the college football community all the way from California, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, and all the way here to South Carolina. Let's get to the video. Break. And we are back here once again with another video. Today we are looking at the Illinois State Redbirds. Let's go Birds. Looking at my hometown team, my former hometown team, I should say. So excited to do a football prediction on them, see if we can get some content out on the FCS level before the season starts. Let's get into today's video. So, before I forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, like the video if you enjoy it, and comment your thoughts and opinions down below as well. Share the video if you know other Redbird fans. So let's get into it. First game of the season is a home game against St. Francis. This will be an easy win. I don't think the Birds will struggle at all. Defensively, I think they'll be fine. Obviously, you have a quarterback competition going on against Bellum, Pinkman, or Pelton, and Gage Roy, the transfer from USC, Southern Cal. So I don't know who's winning the battle. I've tried to look stuff up, try to see if I can find out, but I just can't seem to find anything. It does seem to be between them. I do feel like Gage probably has the advantage, even though it's his first year in the system. Was at USC for a long time, learned a lot under a guy like Lincoln Riley. So I do think that he does have some advantages. But even without that, you still have Victor Dawson as your running back, a great offensive line coming back, and a very solid defense led by Ty Niekamp. Then heading on to the next game, a road game against Western Illinois. You do hit all the directional schools in Illinois for a weird one this year. Western, Northern, Eastern, and Southern Illinois this year. But yeah, Western, former Valley members, but now not anymore. I guess they are maybe independent. I don't know what they're in. Honestly, I forgot to look that up. Easy win here. They are not good. They have really struggled since leaving the Valley. They're just not a good program and have really had a hard time recruiting. So easy win there for the Birds. Northern Illinois, this is probably, I would say, the best of the directional schools in Illinois. Even though they obviously are the only FBS member, sometimes you have a year like when Tony Romo was at Eastern Illinois, they were a little bit better, or Southern Illinois has been pretty decent in some years. So I think Northern Illinois is a tougher team just because of the Division One FBS level, but I do think that Illinois State actually has a very good chance of beating them. And if this is the same type of team, obviously you lost a lot of players, Daniel Sobskowitz and Tommy Rittenhouse, namely, into after graduation. Obviously, if you were bringing back Rittenhouse and Sobskowitz, I would easily be picking Illinois State in this game. But I do think Illinois State's still the better team. I think Victor Dawson will get a lot of work on the ground. And I think that this is where Illinois State, if they're going to win games like this against Northern Illinois and against South Dakota State and Youngstown State and Northern Iowa and teams like that, they got to be able to be more than one-dimensional, which is something that was seen with the Tommy Rittenhouse at quarterback that almost entirely within the SU win last year, the upset win over the Bison. That win elevated them because of their passing attack. And I think that's just something that under Brock's back, he has changed a little bit since Marshawn Copwrench was the primary running back, and then Trey Roverson in the last title run to the national championship against NDSU this time. This is a team that generally is so focused on the run. James Robinson. Illinois State has had a lot of solid running backs under SPAC that I think I need to continue to see development from his quarterbacks, whoever it ends up being. But I think that is a win there against Northern Illinois. I think that this is going to be one of your Premier wins of the season just because it's an FBS opponent. I remember, I think it'll be 10 years this year. Illinois State beat Northwestern in their first ever win over a Big Ten or Power Four opponent generally. So, Eastern Illinois win here. I just don't think the Panthers are much competition. They really have struggled in recent years to play well in the rivalry. They really have, honestly, the quarterback play, the defensive play has been really poor for the Panthers. Honestly, since Tony Romo's days, it has not looked good. Uh, I'm trying to think of the last win for Eastern Illinois. Let me pull it up here. 2023, they did get an upset win in 2023 in Charleston, obviously, but the last win before that was all the way back in 2016. That was an odd game because obviously, like I said, Illinois State um, beat Northwestern and then lost to Eastern Illinois. Weird year. But Illinois State has won 9 out of the last 10 matchups. So I do think Illinois State, this rivalry has kind of gone back and forth between big wins for Illinois State in the late 1990s to early 2010s, and then had a few wins there for Eastern Illinois in the late 20s. Or the late 2000s and into the early 2010s. So we'll see what ends up happening. Next game is a road game for the first game of Valley play against Northern Iowa. I think this is going to be a win. I did split this one. Road game is Northern Iowa, home game against South Dakota State. I do think that they're going to win one of those two games. I could be wrong and they beat South Dakota State and lose to Northern Iowa, but I do think that with Northern Iowa, I just don't think that their defense is going to be able to stop a guy like Victor Dawson consistently all throughout the game. And if they do sell out to stop Dawson, I think that the passing attack with Dylan Lord, the guy that returned after I think he entered the portal. I don't know if he entered the portal or thought about entering the portal after the FCS National Championship game. Maybe just didn't get the money or what he was looking for. Or Illinois State offered him some money, which hopefully they did to keep him in there. But either way, I think that Illinois State does get that win over Northern Iowa, a loss against South Dakota State. But if you want to flip them, that's fine with me. Bye week and then a road game against Southern Illinois. I think this is a win. I do think you sweep the directional schools in Illinois. I think the Salukis may be the toughest competition this year. Last year, it was a rough year for Illinois State against Southern Illinois. Obviously, had a very, I would say, rough year against the Salukis. I believe was it last year? Yeah, last year, 37-7. Just a really random loss at home for Illinois State. So don't know that one. Just an odd game there. Illinois State or Indiana State. Sorry, my apologies. Easy win here against Indiana State and Sycamores. Easy win against Murray State. I think both will be at the bottom of the valley this year. Indiana State, their defense has some struggles on it. So I think Illinois State will be able to take advantage of this, possibly even get up to 40, 50 points wins there. So I would be very interested to see how that goes and see how that plays out. So next up on the schedule, road game against North Dakota. I think that this is going to be a very interesting matchup. And I think a very important, how do I say this? A very important game for both teams. Obviously, it is going to be a it's going to be a game changer for this Illinois State schedule. Let's put it that way. I think if you lose this game, you'll lose a lot of title hopes because you have to go and play Youngstown State on the road next. So you got to get a win, a tough win against the Hawks, the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota. So I think you do get a win there. Road game against Youngstown State. You're 8-1 going into this game. I do think that you get, or I'm sorry, 9-1 going into this game. I do think you get a second loss. And then a win against South Dakota State to finish off the year. Here's what I'm thinking with this Illinois State team. I don't know whether 10-2 gets you into the top 8 seeds in the FCS tournament. I think it would get a pretty close, especially with the two losses being Youngstown State and South Dakota State, and you beat an FBS opponent, I feel like that gets you up there a little bit. But I do think if it would be better if you beat South Dakota State and then lost to Northern Iowa, I think, because I think South Dakota State's going to be one of the best teams in the country this year in the FCS ranks. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'd love to see Illinois beat them. Illinois State beat them like 35-21, like they did last year. Again, that was a fun matchup. But yeah, no, that's going to wrap up today's video. Other than to say, Fighting Illini, schedule the Redbirds. I'd love to see this matchup. Even though Illinois State probably loses, it'd be one heck of a matchup. So hit one of the two videos down below and the subscribe button up here. Help me reach my goal of 6,550 subscribers by the end of August. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.